So it's been about 24 months since I started my online business. And so far within that time, I have made my first $2,000. And I thought I would sit down and share with you the whole truth about running an online business, selling digital products, and why big claims like you can make $10,000 in your first 30 days or $100,000 in 90 days probably isn't quite what it's made out to be. So could they be lying to you? I'm going to tell you my story, and it's a realistic one. Hey guys, my name is Dawn Marie, and if you are new around here, I have been documenting my journey of starting a digital product business from scratch. I don't use marketplaces like Amazon, Etsy, or Creative Market, and my goal really was to build my own website, attract my own audience, and start selling digital products to that audience. So if you're interested to see how I'm doing, how things are getting along, then I really hope you will stick around and subscribe to the channel. And for those of you who are returning viewers, I thought I would sit down and share with you what's going on in my digital product business. I mean, quite a lot has been going on since I last posted a video specifically in relation to my case study. And for those of you who are following along with that case study, as you may know, I restarted my online business in February 2022, and I wanted to share with you everything that has gone on in that business, from my highs, my lows, my wins, and mistakes. I mainly now share this with my email subscribers to keep them in the loop with what's going on, but I thought I will sit down and catch up with you so you can see how things have been going. Now, in my last video, I shared how I reached my first $1,000, and I'll make sure to put the link to that video in the description box. Well, approximately, I think it's about 2 to 3 months later, I've now made my second $1,000. And it's quite surprising because it actually took me about 6 months to make my first $1,000, which is when I started getting more consistent with promoting my digital products. And that was roughly about July 2023. But then it literally took me just 2 months to make my second $1,000. So I'm very happy about that. But before I go on, I want to tell you a little bit about my story and why I'm doing this, and some truths that you don't actually see from other creators about starting and running a digital product business. Because everyone wants you to believe that starting an online business from scratch is just a walk in the park, when actually you have to put some real effort and work into making that money. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, first of all, as you may know, starting a digital product business is hard work. Who doesn't know that? And there are videos out there that says all you have to do is X, Y, and Z, or it's so easy to do X, Y, and Z. And to be honest, I am just so fed up of it all, which is why I no longer look at those types of videos, because I don't think they add a lot of value. And when I see ads that talk about how you can make a certain amount of money in a short space of time, or how you can get a certain number of clients in a short space of time, then I know it's not true for the average person. But if you have fallen into the trap of believing that hype, because that's exactly what it is just hype. 8 years ago, I actually fell for that type of content as well. And to be honest, that is the type of content that actually led me down a rabbit hole of searching for shiny objects that would make me that type of money within a short space of time, because I saw other creators doing it. So I thought that maybe it was something that I could do as well. But the thing is, even though I have tried so many shiny object businesses, I still haven't made the type of income that they said I would make. And it has actually taught me a very good lesson. And that is, if I keep giving up and listening to these gurus that talk about how you can make this amount of money in a short space of time, especially as a beginner who is starting from the very beginning. So I had no audience. I didn't really have an online presence. No one really knew about me. So if I kept listening to them when I didn't reach my goal, I would give up, then obviously I wasn't going to reach where I wanted to be. So I actually had to take some time to reflect, and I asked myself, what if I stuck to one thing and give it at least 5 years and see what happens. So not 30 days, not 60 days, but 5 years. And I thought 5 years was a realistic goal. So I decided that I'm going to restart my online business, give myself 5 years to reach my goal, and just see what happens. So that's where I am right now. And that's why on this channel, one of my main focuses is keeping things honest, real, and transparent so that you don't fall into the same trap like I did. Because if I didn't fall into that trap, I do believe that I would have been much further ahead than I am right now. So here's just a quick update on a quick timeline of my progress so far. So I started my business in February 2022. In July 2022, I made my first sale, but also I didn't really have a lot of products at that time. So I decided from that time to focus on building a suite of products that I could sell to my audience. So that included toolkits, templates, and I've now incorporated some ebooks as well. So between that time, which is July 2022, where I made my first sale, to let's say July 2023, I had built out quite a number of products. In that time, I was also testing products, so I did get a few sales here and there. But from July 2023, because I had more products and I started promoting those products consistently, I was able to hit my first 1,000 in about December, January of this year. And then from January to now, at the time that I'm recording this video, we are in March of 2024, I've then gone on to make my second 1,000. Now let's talk about the truth of building a digital product business and some of the things that you will realize as you start your own journey as well. And that first truth is that if you're starting from the very beginning, you're starting from scratch, so you don't have an audience and you're not relying on marketplaces like Creative Market or Etsy, then you will have to build your own audience and do your own marketing. So you have to find your own way to get in front of other people. And there are many ways that you can do that. But two of the marketing strategies that I am using to build my own audience are my YouTube channel, because I'm mainly using it as a search engine so people can find me. Maybe they're searching for questions, for answers to their questions or their problems. So I am creating content to attract people to me so they can find me. And then the other way that I am building my own audience is that I'm collaborating with other content creators. So maybe those content creators have a bigger audience, a bigger reach than I am. And just collaborating with them, whether that is through an email swap, doing a joint webinar, joint podcast, a virtual summit, participating in a virtual summit, or participating in bundles. Now, the thing about collaborations is, of course, it can take some time to find the right person that you do want to collaborate with. And I said that what I would do is I would utilize collaborations maybe once every quarter so that I don't overwhelm myself too much. And then I would be able to fall back on YouTube, which I am trying to do consistently every single week, again, to build my own reach. Now, there are tons of other ways that you can build your own audience. And I actually provided some more ways in this video right here, which I would link in the description box below. Or you can check out my 10-day action plan, which gives you 28 other ways that you can build your audience from scratch if you have a digital product to send. So I'll also leave the link in the description box below. Now, the second truth that follows on from what I just said is that if you are relying only on social media in the beginning stages of your digital product business, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, of course, it's going to take time to build your audience. And because it will take time to build your audience, it will also take time to get consistent sales as well. So I restarted my YouTube channel in 2022, and right now I'm at over 2,000 subscribers. But to be honest, I think that if I didn't incorporate another way to get people to know about me, I definitely would not have reached $2,000 in digital product sales, because YouTube doesn't actually help me generate the majority of my sales. I would say probably about 10% of my sales I would attribute to YouTube, and then the other 90% of sales I would attribute to my collaborative efforts. Now, one would ask, why don't I just focus on collaborations if it's driving the most amount of sales? Well, actually, I do focus on collaborations behind the scene, but I also want to make sure that I am diversifying my traffic sources so that I don't just only rely on collaborations, that I also have another way to get people to find me, and that is through YouTube. So I am focusing on both at the same time, and then also I am testing other traffic sources to see whether there are other things that maybe I haven't yet tried that could potentially get more people to know about me. Now, the third truth that I want to drop in here is that you will, of course, have competitors. So it is a very competitive, digital products is a very competitive industry, and you will come across competitors that will compete with your type of business. But I always believe that if you are building a personal brand, you are your brand and your audience knows about you, then that is one way that you can differentiate yourself from your competitors. And you always have to find ways of how you can be better than your competitors. So one of the ways that I am trying to be better than my competitors is I want to have a personal relationship with my subscribers. So by doing these behind the scenes of my business and just leading a more value-led business, that's one of the things that I think would help me stand out and really attract people to me because of that content. I would write to my email subscribers and I would let them know, whether I'm having a good day, whether I'm having a bad day, whether there is something that I have tried maybe and I've suggested that they can try it as well. I've also shared mistakes and the challenges that I have faced. I think it really helps them to resonate with me. I really want them to relate to who I am so they can feel or they can see my journey in what they are going through as well. So I think building a relationship with people, especially in today, they did say that if you build a community is one of the best things that you can do for a business if you build that community around you. So that will help you build that know, like, and trust. And the fourth truth about building a digital product business as a beginner is that you will actually have periods of time where you just don't make any sales. And for me, what I realized my problem is that a lot of people weren't seeing my products. So as I mentioned before, I use YouTube to get visibility and also to build my email list. But between that time, my sales were very minimal. So maybe 1 to 2 sales a month. But when I incorporated collaborations with other creators, my sales increased to the point where I had almost daily sales. And I feel that collaborations was the biggest contributor to me hitting my first $1,000 and then my next $1,000 in digital product sales. So if you are starting your own digital product business and you're wondering why you aren't getting sales, then think about how many people are actually seeing your products. And if you're thinking of using collaborations, unless you have a way to consistently participate in these events, then there will be periods of time where you won't make any sales as you start building your audience. So that's why I am working on growing my channel alongside collaborating with other creators, because then I know at some point when my YouTube channel has grown, where my audience has gotten bigger, then more people will be seeing my products, they will be exposed to those products, and therefore I'm more likely to get sales. And the fifth truth about starting a digital product business is that you have to always be creating and testing products. So if you think that the first product that you create will sell well, then that isn't true. Sometimes it may, but you must be prepared that in some cases, your first digital product probably just would not sell well. So ever since I started my digital product business, my goal was always to create products and test and see what works. So I created products that when I pitched them to my audience would sell, and then there were others that I created that just would not sell. So I don't want you to be mad at yourself if your first digital product doesn't sell. It's actually quite normal for that to happen, and you will probably have to create several different offers before one actually takes off. You see, the problem that beginners have is that they create an offer, then when it doesn't sell, they say that the system doesn't work and they give up. So don't let that be you. You have to be in a cycle of continuous creating and testing to see what works. And of course, you could get help with this by surveying your audience many times. I know that some people would ask, have you surveyed your audience? But then the problem that I also had is that because I had a small audience, it wasn't really a very good sample to figure out what their problem was, as well as sometimes I just wouldn't get any responses. So that's why I had to create products, different types of products, pitch it to them to see what works, and just be in that continuous cycle of always creating and testing products. Now, if you are going to use this method, there is one thing that I would say that you shouldn't do, and that is spend a long time or months creating a digital product. So focus on creating an MVP and then moving on to the next. And if you don't know what an MVP is, it's a minimum viable product, which is a product that has just enough basic features to be useful to customers, but which can be improved over time with customer feedback. And the reason why I'm saying to focus on creating MVPs is because when you create the basic version of a product, you will get an idea whether it can sell really quickly because it's a short period of time that you spent creating the product and then testing it, instead of spending an elaborate amount of time building out an entire digital product that your audience probably just wouldn't want. And then the good thing as well is that once you realize that that MVP is selling, you can then go on to get feedback from your customers and build out the complete product. So guys, those are my 5 truths to building a digital product business from someone who has realistic and typical results for an average person. If you have any questions about what I said or need clarification on anything, then please do leave a comment in the description box below. And also don't forget to check out my 10-day action plan if you are looking to start launching and selling your own digital products. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.